Wagwan peeps, it's your favorite Dusty, man like Venom.
Hey, hello, hi, it's your home slice and apparently a pick-me, Dammy Zane.
Doing villainy today.
Today we are coming with the smoke.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Unpicked podcast. We are on episode 13. Big shout out to our new subscribers and that.
Come on, and
shout out to our returners and that.
Obviously.
Yeah, man, we love it. A lot of engagement this week.
Yes.
A lot of comments.
A lot of engagement.
Across a few platforms, to be fair. But, all engagement is good engagement. So keep it coming. We've seen the comments. So as much as there's been some trolls, there's also been some really nice comments as well. So do not be afraid to share this with family and friends. In fact, I challenge you to share your favorite episode. It could be the first one you've seen, if you've caught up with the others and there's another one you like, or it might even be this one. To share it with 3 friends. Just share it with 3 friends.
I think that's fair.
Challenge you.
If you enjoy it.
That's my point.
If you enjoy it, just
drop it in the
group chat. Just conversation starter.
Come on, be like, if you want. No, don't troll us. No, don't troll us. But conversation starter and stuff. Do it. Yeah, why not? So Venom, how's your week?
Good.
I'm gonna ask that question.
My week has been good. I'm always good. Chilling. Made some music over the weekend, new beats. Obviously, I sent you the garage beat. We're doing the garage beat soon. We ain't doing it today. We had a busy weekend, which we'll get to, but I made some other beats this weekend and just chilling, having a good time, family, friends, all that kind of stuff, man.
Love that.
I'm good. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I got the garage beat.
No. Keep the energy up. Keep the energy.
I got the beat and I was like, I got to write something. I haven't got around to doing it. I promise you. Oh my God. Them situations where you've agreed to do something and then when the time comes, you're like, why did I agree to this?
Why was I so confident?
It's not that I know I can do it, but it's
of course.
You know what? Yeah, guys, just watch this space. You will get the track. You will get
the track next week. And that's on that. Dammy Zane.
I don't know about that. I see you trying to lay down the law there, but it's coming out next week and that's that on that. You can't be using my line on me.
That's the only time I've used it ever.
Get out of here.
That's not my lingo. That's just for you.
That's funny. That's dead on that. I'm insane. Nah, you're doing too much. No, it's been a really good week, blessed week. Yeah, man. I hope everyone else out there, everyone that's listening to us or watching on YouTube, I hope you've also had a great week.
Boom, boom, boom.
So I guess we better just get into it.
Let's segue into the hot topic.
So I went to the 90s Baby Show event and had the time of my life. And before I went, obviously, I pre'd YouTube Studio, also pre'd just the stats in general, because I'm a bit obsessive like that. I saw, not much. Yeah, not much movement. It's cool. It's all right. Slow and steady wins the race. Came back from the event. Check TikTok. I said over 100 comments.
Jeez.
Over 5k views, just like that, in a few hours.
Hey.
What's going on? So our video about this topic has come back again. I don't know. Because this is
gone viral twice.
It's the third time that we're talking about this. The topic about the title's left my brain.
Our women's sport for choice. So this was
our women's sport for choice. Yeah, see what you've done.
Our women's sport for choice evolved into our black women's sport for choice. Evolved into.
Do you see what you've done, Venom? Do you see what you've done?
Just sharing opinions.
Because what was that? I can't remember what episode we did. Relationships are in London are cap. I think that
don't
must have
know.
been episode 6 or
6?
something
I
like
was gonna
that.
say something like that.
Yeah,
A
and
big
then
6 weeks later.
and then that blew up and had black women pressed on
Mm.
Instagram.
Mm.
So we said, okay, let's talk about whether or not black women do have too much choice. Actually, I was upset because you said we were ruined. Not even that we've got too much.
Oh yeah, it's true.
You said we were ruined, and I
I
was
did
like,
use
nah,
a
nah. I was like,
pretty
nah,
powerful.
yeah, that didn't sit well with me. So we covered it again, and then again because you with the truth and that the black man truth.
Obviously.
That's the one that popped off, and that I think that dropped our black women's spot for choice. I think that must have been episode 3 episodes ago or something like that. So
Yeah,
maybe like
something like
episode
that.
9.
9.
Yeah. So I was like, black women ain't having it on TikTok. This time it was TikTok. They were not having it. They were like, you chatting crap, you capping.
Yeah, I saw bear caps, boy.
Bear lingo that I didn't even know was a thing. We're moving away from black men. More and more black women are dating outside their race. Some black women were saying that they've never, ever dated a black man in their whole dating experience. So I was like, all right, interesting. Got into it. One troll I had to even block and delete because I was like, what you're not finna do is disrespect me on my own platform.
Exactly. People are gassed.
Listen. So, and then I was like, cool. Had my normal evening, went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night, checked my phone. I see comments on the YouTube. Oh, Cynthia G has covered your video.
I was like, who's Cynthia G?
Cynthia G? No shade. I don't
No shade.
Cynthia G.
I didn't.
So I had to So I saw the video. I didn't watch the full video, but I saw that she actually watched, I don't know if it was the full video.
She watched the whole episode. I watched her video. I watched the whole entirety of her video.
Did she say that she watched the full episode?
Yeah. Well, she alluded to it. She definitely watched more than the clip because she cut from the video.
But even the clip, she cut from the video. But even the clip, she said she clipped it for context. But what we spoke about before you made that comment wasn't even in relation to that comment. It was in relation to something else that we spoke about prior to that. So technically the context wasn't contexting, but it's okay. It's fine. No beef. But I see comments under there and they were like, yeah, in the UK, it's the same as in America. Black men everywhere are the same. They hate black women. This is why black women shouldn't like black men. And I was like, whoa, like there's a whole movement of women who are really trying to get away from black men.
They are doing the most.
That was my initial thought. Then after since that day and those comments, we've had some back and forths and some debate now.
There's been a lot of back and forths in a lot of different comment sections on a lot of different platforms.
And someone said to us, because we released the male podcast episode, and do you know what? Because we are UK London based, we do generally base our comments or our content on
things that happen here. Yeah, for us.
That's going on in the UK, or like the major topics that are happening in real time as much as we can in between, like filming, editing, uploading, stuff like that. So when we uploaded male podcasters need to stop, that was because that was the thing at the time. And then someone was like, someone tried to say that I indirected Cynthia G in that episode, but how can I did I indirect someone that I had no idea about at the time that we recorded? So we thought, you know what, let's come back to this topic
and address.
Here we are. We are here.
We are here. We are here to talk.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Cynthia G, what are you thinking?
Okay, so Cynthia G. I mean, that night was a mad night because I don't. More recently, I have been checking my phone at night, but generally I don't. And that night, for some reason, I did check my phone and had the message from you. And so I went to TikTok, saw these comments, started fighting people in the comment section till I got bored. Then I got another message from you about Cynthia G, and I was like, well, I'm awake. Went over to there, started reading the comments, and I was like, oh my Lord, that comment section. Like, I watched the video, and I actually liked the video. At first, I was nervous because I was thinking, based on the comments I'd already read from TikTok, this thing is going to be blown out of proportion in the wrong context.
You thought that you was about to get cancelled before we began.
Nobody can cancel me. I've been saying it. I'm the villain. I'm here. Use my pronouns, villain or Sif. Let's go. Anyway.
Wow.
So I thought that she was going to not understand what I said and then make a big video about it, if you know what I mean. Because I saw that the video was 30 minutes. I was like, damn, this is a long time to be misquoted, if you know what I mean.
30 seconds for like a
30 minute
30
video
minutes for a 30 second
from a 30
soundbite.
second.
Crazy.
Yeah, boy.
Crazy.
But yeah, when I watched the video, I believe that she understood what I said quite clearly.
Oh yeah.
And then she just expanded on it for another 30 minutes, which was actually really entertaining for me because it was like, yeah, it was one small thing that I said and it was really, examined.
Yeah, and we don't go into too much detail here. It's meant to be a chill conversation. We're not here to shout at each other. Obviously, that original episode, I got triggered and was like, I was like, cut the cameras, dead ass. But generally speaking, Venom and I, we just have casual conversation and it's recorded and it ends up online. So it wasn't that deep. But Cynthia was really going in. Like
she was going ham.
I mean, I watched about 15 minutes of it and I said, I can't watch no more.
I watched to the bitter end. It was intense.
It was very intense, very militant, and I don't really like to consume that sort of content, to be honest.
Yeah.
But she didn't say anything bad. She was just
she didn't.
She was just kind of reiterating and going into detail about what you was trying to explain to me in the moment. I mean, I don't know how many views it's on now, but there's like thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands of views on that video. But a few of you did come onto our YouTube and had a watch of the full episode, and we really appreciate that because then you got to see the entirety of what we discussed. Those of you though that stayed on Cynthia G's YouTube and called me a pick me and tried to say that I was looking lovingly into Venom's eyes.
Hey. I mean, how could you not though? How could she not?
You need to relax big time. No, okay. But yeah, people were coming up with all sorts of narratives on that.
The narratives were just plentiful. I
was like, you lot really like a story, innit? You love a story.
I mean, I tell you the thing.
They were like, oh, she's trying to persuade him that it's not like that. I'm using an American accent.
Yeah. Where from America are you in? Give me the whole character. Just give me a quick backstory. Let me flesh this out.
I'm like, oh, she's really trying to get him to understand where she's coming from, and he ain't listening to her. My accent.
He ain't trying to hear that.
Sorry. He ain't trying to hear that.
No,
someone tried to say that I'd accept some Eddie Dusty. I was like, first of all, honey.
Yeah,
okay, I got standards. Every guy I've dated, yes, they've been black, but they've not been dusty. Let me tell you that for free.
I mean, Dusty.
So
Dusty deserves a whole section on its own because I had never heard this expression before. As in, I didn't know it was an expression. If someone said it in a sentence, I'd understand, but I didn't know it was an expression like that. I went in this comment section and I have never been called one synonymous, like, disrespecting word continually.
They were all called me Dusty. And it's
I was their bits.
I was like, oh, sorry, men's mental health. No, but I was like, you don't know us.
Yeah,
Venom is not Dusty. Trust me, the guy's making peas. Okay, he's not Dusty. And
it's a lot though.
And I don't associate myself with dusty men. I mean, I had to let someone know that I come from a 2-parent household. My parents have been married for over 30 years. My dad was very present and very involved in our upbringing. I don't come from a dusty home. I don't even have a dusty father. He was very, do you know what I mean? So when I'm talking from what people need to realize is not everyone has come from the stereotypical background.
Yeah, single parent and blah, blah, blah.
Right,
blah, blah.
and not everyone has had the same struggle. I've talked trash about men on this podcast as well as talking trash about women on this podcast. So I don't know how you can call me a pygmy if I'm talking trash about the guys too. But anyway, the guys I've dated or the guys I've had relationships with, at least, none of them were dusty, and all of them are doing very well for themselves. Actually, they're not broke. They respect women. It just didn't work out for different reasons.
That was the
But
other thing.
I wouldn't call them dusty. I wouldn't say that I've experienced struggle love like that.
Mm,
All the men in my life uplift black women and talk very well of black women.
mm,
All the men in my life date and only date black women. All the men I've dated, whether relationship or just dating, only date black women.
mm,
They've not stepped out. I get it. Some women are really pressed and they've had some really bad experiences, and they feel like when people like Kevin Samuel says stuff like black women are bottom barrel, they really feel like an attack. But when I hear stuff like that, I'm thinking that's not me, boy. I ain't bottom barrel. So if someone says a black woman is bottom barrel, or black woman is picked last, and da 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 da, when I spoke about it in that episode, I was trying to encompass the experiences of the black women that I know, or the black people within my sphere of influence. But I wasn't talking from my own life, as in like, I feel like I've been treated like I'm bottom barrel, or I feel like I'm picked last. When people make comments, what they need to do is focus on the opinions that are being brought to the table, focus on the content, but don't be coming at us and making comments on things that you do not know. You don't have facts. You don't
focus on the actual facts that were, or whatever was
just. Yeah, if you want to make comments about the opinion, I welcome that. That's fine, because we are also discussing opinions here in this podcast. But if you're gonna come at us about us personally, we will not.
Then get to know us personally. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, in the comment section, the thing that the Dusty was, I was like, whatever, man. If you've not understood what I've said, fair enough. You know what I mean? It's not the full context. So I understand if you don't understand, because you're not watched our podcast and then come to that conclusion. So fair enough. Yeah. And you don't know me. So maybe I've said some stuff, and like, if you knew me, you'd understand that I don't feel that way or whatever. But the main thing that annoyed me was there was a lot of people talking about it from the perspective of me being a black man that hates black women, simply because I shared an opinion that's clear to see from no matter which way you look at it, about our community. And that was the most frustrating thing for me, was I was feeling like I had to try and prove to strangers, no, but I do love black women. I'm gonna marry a black woman. I'm engaged. I was like, wait, why am I doing all this?
Yeah.
You're not understanding. You don't understand. That's your problem. I've said something that is easy to see. Anybody could have made this, it's just that I've said it and I'm a black man, and you've chosen right now because you've said it. Even people that are agreeing with Cynthia but disagreeing with me, I'm like, but she's
literally saying the same thing.
I was like, you know what?
Do you know what? What we're not going to do going forward, Venom, is we're not going to answer to trolls, okay? You lot can fight yourselves. If you want to tussle, you want to tussle?
I'm going to be Jason Derulo with these people. You want to tussle?
You want to tussle? You can tussle amongst yourselves, because we ain't getting involved in that, okay? If you want to get to know us as podcasters, as individuals, then you're going to have to watch our videos and just understand that the part of our unique selling point is that we're just a black guy and a black woman from the UK in London having conversations. We are not in a relationship romantically. We have our own lives and we just get on. We've got a good banner, which is what makes it enjoyable. Outside of that, you people just need to focus on the content and stop trying to unpick us incorrectly.
I just know it's all love as well.
So if you're going to drop comments for us, and of course, hopefully you guys can see that when we do reply, apart from when you lot are coming at us with smoke, when we do reply to you guys, we reply with respect and kindness. So we would like the same thing. That's it. But yeah, man, Cynthia G, big up. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the exposure. All right. And I love the fact that she fully understood what Venom was saying, even though he only spoke for 30 seconds. And now we are going to go into it properly, isn't it? Because let's do the main target.
Let's do the main. Okay, so today we're actually going to talk about interracial dating. Since this is what this weekend has brought about, as I guess we felt like we needed to actually speak on the topic, since we didn't even really get to go into it. So
No.
yeah, man.
I mean, it's been on the cards anyway.
We
It's
were
been
we were
on the.
planning to, but
We
like
were
this is
planning
sort
to talk
of
about it, just not
changed
this
the schedule.
soon. Just not this
Changed the
soon.
schedule
So
dramatically.
what are your thoughts then?
So personally, and
Mm.
I hope I've expressed this in some of the comments, but yeah, I've got no problem with interracial dating. We're talking from the perspective of black people, or at least I am talking from the perspective of being a black man. Do I have a problem with dating a woman outside of my race? No. Why? Because I'm
Mm.
nasty.
No, stop it.
But
Stop it. No, we're gonna stop being petty. We've had our
sorry.
20 minutes of petty.
Wow, I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah,
You
I don't have any problem with it. What I do have a problem with is the narrative of people doing that simply because they find black women unattractive, or people actually who are black finding black women unattractive and thus having to date other women. That doesn't make sense to me. But people dating
I know, because we're
or
beautiful.
or
I know.
finding other people attractive, yeah, that's fine. People going out of their way to not date black women, I guess they're two different. We'll get into that. But interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with it, but my preference is obviously black on black, like the crime. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. What's your What's
You
your
ask,
opinion?
are you asking me for my opinion, or are you asking me for my preference? Because that's two different
Your opinion
questions.
and your preference. What's your
My
opinion? What's your
opinion, my
preference?
opinion on interracial relationships.
Hmm.
Okay, everybody should face their fronts. Okay, if listen, okay, a lot of the comments that we were getting from even from Cynthia G's video and on ours was people were trying to justify dating outside of the race or staying and deciding to date black men only.
Hmm.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's nobody's business. It's up to you who you want to date. If you
Hmm.
prefer to stick to your culture, because there is there are some people, not even just women, I know black men as well, that are very adamant that when it's time to settle down, they
Mm.
must settle down with someone from where they are from. And this happens a lot in the UK. So you might be like, if you're Nigerian, you might be adamant that you're going to settle with a Nigerian because of the concept that they understand your culture and there's
Hmm.
not much. It's easier because the traditions are the same. So you don't need to teach each other your traditions and
Yeah.
learn and there's no mixing. It's just okay, my whole family is going to be Nigerian, for example. So there's that perspective. And then there's people that don't mind, but they just prefer and would like to keep their family or their lineage black fully, but they
Hmm.
don't mind mixing with different types of African countries or or Caribbean and stuff like that. But then there's also the perspective of I don't care if they're black, white, yellow, green, a Simpson, so
Hmm.
long as they treat me right. That's what I would go
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And then there was some that were like, "Nah, we are divesting away from black men, and so therefore we will date outside." So,
Hmm.
and I'll come on to divesting in a second because I feel like that term is being used incorrectly. So, but I'll talk about that later. So, yeah, I think for me personally, when I was reading the comments, I was like, you lot are fighting for something that doesn't really matter. Everyone should
Mm.
just face your front and focus on you. Do what you want to do. I feel like we live in a society now where people just like to dictate to each other and tell people what
There's a
they
lot of
should and
that.
shouldn't do. It's very annoying. People can tell me from now to their face turns blue that I should stay
Mm.
away from black men. If I like someone and he's a black man, I'm going for it. I don't care what you don't have to say. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't see how my preference is harming you. And so my opinion on interracial relationships is it's none of my business.
Mm.
Whether it's something that I would do or not do, so long as the people that are in the relationship are happy, what's my own? Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
I've got absolutely no issues with interracial relationships. My belief is everyone should do what makes them happy and what suits their lifestyle and
Hmm.
their values and their morals and whatever. Do you in it? Everyone should just face their front. In terms of my personal preferences around whether would I date outside of my race, the answer is yes, I would. I would date outside of my race. Would I marry and raise children and start a family outside of my race? Probably not. The reason why I would say that is because I kind of fall into the bracket of, I'm African and I would want to raise my children on African traditions to an extent. I don't want the toxic traditions, okay? So that's another topic.
I was gonna say, yeah, that one is
every episode.
we've created
I
these
say
other
something
episodes,
and I'm like, that's another topic. I'm like the topic generator.
Let me chime in before you finish that. Is kneeling a toxic trait, or is that fine? As in the Nigerian kneeling. Yeah.
I believe you should only kneel to God. So yes.
Hey, yeah, okay. I feel we should talk it. We'll do that topic.
Let's just.
We'll do that topic. We'll do that topic. We'll do that topic. I just wanted to get a gauge.
It's coming out soon. Where was I? Yeah, so I definitely kind of sit in that bracket of I do want my family to be African. I've dated mainly West Africans as well. So yeah, that's just what I've happened to date, and it's what I prefer when it's time to settle down, as in like life partner, get married. I would prefer that they are from where I'm from, or in the vicinity at least.
Yeah.
However, I am not one of those people that's like, if I met a guy and we were clicking and he came up and I asked him, where are you from?
And he said, I'm a Jamaican.
Jamaican, as Nigerians.
Exactly.
Those old school Nigerians will say Jamaican. It's Jamaican. I don't even know why they pronounce it like that. It's crazy. And no matter where they're from in the Caribbean, it's Jamaican. And it's like, we need to get educated because there's so many islands in the Caribbean.
But also, there's no other words that Nigerians say that sounds anything like that. So why do they say Jamaican like that?
I don't know why they do it like that.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, Jamaican. I don't mind. Jamaican. Okay. Do you know what? When I was in school, I had my first boyfriend was a white boy when I was in school. Obviously, like as an adult, you don't count school like relationships as real. Like, and I've had a crush on like people from the Asian persuasion, you know. So I have the capacity to be attracted to men from a different race. It's just I prefer, when it's time for me to get married and have children, I prefer that they would be black. Now, the reason for that, because I know some people are going to come at me for it, right? The reason for that is I'm considered a dark-skinned black woman. I've grown up in the UK, in London specifically, with dark-skin prejudice. So, you're not light enough, you got picky hair, ashy, blah, 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 blah. I love my skin. I love my color. I love my race. And that when I have children, I want them to look like me.
Yeah.
I don't want them to look like anything else but me. I don't want to be out with my kids and people are asking me if they're mine or not, or people looking at us funny and stuff like that. Not that it always happens, but some people within interracial relationships do make comments that that's the sort of stuff that they experience because people are still very ignorant.
Well, I mean, my friend said that to me the other day. He had that because his son's a newborn, so obviously a newborn's going to be fair, even on top, but he's mixed race. And then my friend is like only maybe a shade lighter than me. So they just saw this light baby and this guy, and they were like, "Is that your kid?"
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Crazy.
It happens a lot because people, like I said, people are ignorant. But I just want my family to look like me. And I've done a lot of work within myself to love my skin tone, to love my natural hair, picky or not, know how to handle it and all that stuff. So I would want my family to look like me. I want my kids to look like me. Some black women went the other way in that they're like, because of the trauma, now they fantasize having children that are light skinned.
So they can absolve them of the experience.
Of the experiences that they've had. Black men have done that as well when they say they prefer light skin or white or any other race other than black because they want their kids to have blue eyes or whatever and like really curly or coolie hair, like, and fair skin. So it's a response to your experience, essentially, is what determines your preference in that way. I've just chosen that I want my whole family to be black like me.
Yeah.
And that's just a preference for me. But if God says that my husband is I don't know, Indian, so be it. Do you
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just I prefer what I prefer.
I think for me, I never really considered the kids part of it until now. But then again, I think at least in my journey as a man, I've only really started to think about the serious things as I've gotten much older. Like throughout my younger years, I never considered it once. I would date any girl that I found attractive. You know what I mean? If she looked good and she was nice and, you know what I mean, she didn't have any glaring red flags, I'd be like, yeah, cool, let's date because, you know, that's my girlfriend, whatever. And I guess that didn't even change until there was this one girlfriend who was definitely pretty, like very, very pretty. But she also had this like scatty element where wasn't even sure, like she could have been a scat, like just don't know. It was that kind of vibe.
For our Americans, sket means hoe.
Oh yeah, like she had bigger areas of her being that were just kind of unknowns. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
She could have
like
been mysterious, but look at you.
she could have just been mysterious, but it weren't.
There's
it
the
weren't.
villain again.
It weren't mystery. Straight up dusty, you know.
I love how we can laugh about this. I love how.
Cause what? Listen. I'm wearing that dusty on my crown.
That might be on the Unpicked merch one day.
Yeah. A crown that says Dusty.
Dusty.
Done no. But this girl, right? I was fine dating her. I didn't even mind that she may have been up to some other activities. I minded that, but it wasn't proven. So, you know what I mean? I was not concerned. But then one day, she thought it funny or whatever to pretend or not let me know. So I met her in the morning. We went to the same college at one point in time. I met her in the morning and she said to me, I'm late. And I was like, we're both here and college hasn't started. What are you talking about? And she's like, nah, I'm late. And I was like, oh my, what?
Pregnancy scare.
So she must have said this.
Damn.
She ain't in none of my classes. So then we part ways. I spend the whole day bricking it. I can't tell you the thoughts that are...
I'm going to be a teenage daddy.
You know what I mean? I can't tell you the thoughts that are running through my mind.
How am I going to tell my mama? I'm joking.
It's literally all of that. And the mysterious element of her being is also... I'm not thinking, maybe it's not mine, maybe it's someone else's. I'm just thinking, well, like, I don't know you like that. Like, there's all this mystery. I was just now I'm really actually paying attention to her character and the reality of
this is
dating
the mother of my child.
Exactly. And it's only at that
wrap
point
it up before you smack it up. Sorry.
I won't get into the details of the...
I'd be telling my brother that all the time.
But I was a protected young man is all I can say on that. But but these things can still happen. So only after that point did I ever actually start to consider who I'm making my partner, if you know what I mean. Like before that, it's just, I like you. You know, you like me too? Yeah, cool.
I mean, you was in what college? You ain't thinking about long term like that.
Oh, but I went college twice. I went college twice. So I was
it the second
2 years
time
older. Yeah. I was 2 years older than college age, if you know what I mean.
Okay. But still.
Yeah. That was the only time I started considering who you make your partner. And then fast forward till now I'm actually like what my baby actually looks like. Does that actually matters to me? It didn't before. Like if I dated a girl and she was Chinese, I'll just try and imagine what would a half me, half Chinese, and I'll be like, yeah, I love it. It doesn't matter what my kid is, I would always love it. But now I'm like, well, I've taken this long, so I might as well make the child I want to make. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to having a child born of a circumstance that I'm in, which might be a beautiful, loving relationship. But if I'm gonna make a child, in my mind, it's gonna look exactly like me. It's gonna be dark, chocolate drop.
Come on.
Come on, man. With the afro and the anyway.
Oh, yes.
So I know, I know what I want to see as being my child by default.
Okay.
But any child that I make, anything that I create on this earth,
I mean,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna love
love.
them and you're gonna think they're beautiful.
So it
Yeah.
is what it is.
But that's why I said you can have a preference and then whatever
Mm-hmm.
bees bees. As long as I think one thing that I did agree with that I saw come up a lot in the comments was that we just shouldn't, as in when I say we, I mean black women, we shouldn't
Default to black men.
not even, yeah, like just don't be like so tunnel vision that you're not
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
allowing anything else in. And I agree with that. Because
Wholeheartedly.
I'm very big on love who loves you. Don't force it. Like earlier in this episode, I mentioned that every guy I've dated only dated black women. So I never felt like I never got the feeling from these guys that they didn't respect black women or that they didn't love black women.
Mm-hmm.
They do, because that's all they've dated, looking at their previous history. And actually one of them, he slept with a Caucasian woman before, but he said they weren't in a relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
he was sleeping with her because he believed she was easy, which is another concept that I don't know if that is how Caucasian women are seen in America or in other countries outside of the UK. But I do definitely remember growing up and like in my teens, it was a thing
Yeah, that was
actually
like a thing.
for
Yeah,
black
yeah,
guys to
yeah.
be like, I will have sex with a white woman because she's more likely to give me head. She's more likely to do the freaky things that a black girl is going to be a bit like turn up her nose on. Like, you want me to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't doing that. And so, like, one of the guys that, one of my previous dates, he did say that, no, I would never take a white girl seriously. I just slept with one because I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see if she was freaky deaky like they say they are, or loose or
Mad.
easy or whatever. But he never took her seriously. And can you imagine?
Mm.
That's one of the things I was like, you don't respect women then, and that was
Yeah.
a thing for me. But to him, it was like, I only take black women seriously. Anybody else, I don't think that they're serious. I'm only trying to get into bed with them. Yeah, I do get that, and I've said in the past that black women do hold the black community on their back,
Mm.
because I do think that black women, well, if we were to compare, right, black men to black women are more concerned with preserving the black race and fighting black causes, in my opinion, than black men. Black women support black men more than black men support black women. An example I've used in the past is when you get a single parent, more time it's the mum that
Mm.
stayed and took responsibility and accountability for the child, whereas the man just flees and he gets to jump from person to person to person, do whatever he wants without the responsibility of the child. And then, just real quick, I have to say, then when that same woman comes on a show like one with Kevin Samuel, he'll now say because she's a baby mama, that's why high value men don't want her. But it's the same type of high value men that spread their seed but don't stay to look after the child. But we
Mm.
digress. So like it's I think a lot of the narrative I was seeing in the comments was that black women are just tired of holding up the black community and fighting for black preservation, and that's the reason why they're like, you know what, if black men don't care about the preservation of the black society and
Mm.
they feel like it's cool for them, they don't care whether it's black, white, whatever, they're happy to date outside, then black women should do the same. And do you know what, part of me does agree with that. Like, I do agree, like I said, do not cap do not cap what you can receive based on I must, because of tunnel vision. Like, it's not by force. Love who loves you.
Mm.
If if a person, black, white, or whatever, is showing you that they have respect for you, they have the same outlook in life as you guys click, as in the banter is correct, you find them attractive, they want the same sorts of things as you, they've got the same values, morals, all this important stuff,
Yeah.
and the only thing about them is that they're not black, then sis, you're shooting yourself in the foot for not going for it, in my opinion, because everyone wants to be happy and it's happiness that we're going for.
Mm. I think
So
with I mean the goal really with interracial dating should be the same goal as dating within your race. It's just to find happiness, stability, and
Yeah, that's
a future
true.
you can build. But on the flip side of that, not to open up another can of worms, but I think a
Open
lot of
it. Open it.
a lot of the issue, because I mean that comment section, the women were very tired, and I
Ah,
could get, even though there was a lot of misinformation, not misinformation, but some very ill-formed opinions and whatnot within there. The overall theme was these people are very tired, and I can see why, and I can't help the reasons. I can only fight the battle for myself. But the reality is the reasons are much bigger than what I'm saying. And there's a lot of examples that people have of black men who become quite successful and then dating
mm,
outside of the race. And the reason why that's
mm.
problematic is because as a community, not that we share our resources and wealth like that, because we
Yeah, we
don't
don't.
have we don't have like
We don't have
Chinatowns,
we don't have the
or
infrastructure. We
yeah,
don't have the
we don't
infrastructure.
have, like, for example, when we did live in Dalston or Brixton or wherever before these areas were gentrified, we didn't have, like, blacks. I mean, we did actually at a point in time, we did, but we don't
Mm,
now have, like, black pubs, black grocery stores, black liquor store,
yeah,
and then just
yeah.
interchange the money in our community. We don't have that foundation, but it still presents a certain way when a black man becomes successful and then marries outside of the race, because then, even though we don't have that foundation we once did, you then take all of that financial resource and then you
Mm,
funnel it out of the community, not back into the community.
yeah.
um, and that is problematic, and from the standpoint of
Yes, it is.
preservation, then it
Yeah.
does become quite triggering. And
The
I've
thing
just always
is,
had a problem with that anyway, because
mm,
ultimately it does just it just doesn't it just doesn't create anything generationally, because if you, for example,
mm,
become really successful, then you marry, let's say, for example, a white woman from England, then your
mm,
children are mixed race, but she's your wife, so in your passing she receives half or all of your estate, and
yeah.
then suddenly everything that you've made is not a part of the black community, and your child is only, the only way it's going to be possibly come back into the black community, because if it's just with your wife, well, then it's
Yeah.
already not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, I think people just in the UK, I have to say, I can't speak for America because, like I always say, America's a different kettle of fish because they are
Mm,
so, a lot of them. I mean, you still have first generational migrants in America. Like my family that are in America are Nigerian, and my uncles and aunties, so my cousins, for example, they're just like me. They're just American. So they were born in
yeah.
America, but their parents were born in Nigeria. So
Hmm.
they're still first generation. And there's a lot of Africans in America and Caribbeans in America who are first generational migrants, immigrants, just like here. But the majority um, might not have that clear link to their origin because of
Mm.
slavery. So it's a different, it's very, as much as like, I understand Cynthia G was trying to like say it's the same everywhere, but I actually don't
It's not.
agree.
It's not.
I
It's.
actually don't agree. People so badly want to believe that black men date outside of their race more than black women do. I don't think that's true. I think back in the day, maybe, but certainly now, a lot more black women are dating outside of the black race, settling
Mm,
down
hmm.
outside of the black race. I mean, if you were to look at social media and look at some of our the big names that come out from the UK, some of them are in interracial relationships or interracial marriages. Like, for example, Patricia Bright, she's married to a white guy. So it's not unusual. It's not like it's
I
not the
don't think
same
it's
fight.
unusual, but I don't
Not
think
maybe
it's.
not maybe unusual is not the right word, but it's not like I feel like
I don't think they're
online.
level.
I feel like online people are so badly trying to argue that black men don't love black women and
Mm,
black men prefer a different race to black women. But I don't think that's actually true here in the UK. I think there's a lot of black men who like their race, want their
mm,
race,
yeah,
want black
yeah.
women. And yes, we have some guys in our generation who specifically go out of their way not to date black women. But even then, it's not the majority of black men in our
Yeah, no, it's
generation
definitely not the
that behave like that.
majority.
So
Hmm.
it's a different, that's what I'm saying, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah,
Here
no, it
in the
is.
UK, I don't think it's like as big of a deal as it is in America. It's not the if we were to compare the
Yeah, no,
percentages
no, they're
statistically,
different
black
beasts. So,
it's not like black men here purposely go for like they don't want black women. They think that we're so unattractive. I don't think that's the case here in the UK. I think there's a small
mm.
minority of black men in the UK who are colorists.
I
That
think
one's
yeah, that's what I
definitely
was
a
about to
thing.
say. I was going to say I think colorism is more an issue
Colorist is an
here.
issue,
Yeah,
right? That's more the thing. Oh, I want a black woman, but she needs to be light or she needs to be mixed. That's what they
yeah,
prefer.
yeah, yeah.
But they still want a black woman. Um, but there's a small minority, I think. It's a smaller minority of black men that don't want black women. So I think our struggle
Mm.
here is completely different to the
No, it
American
is
struggle.
socially it is very different, but I think as well that again from the comment section, no, actually, but Cynthia was kind of peddling it a little bit, I guess, as well. I think that the difference between the men and the women, especially over there, is that I think black men date outside of their race just as a thing. Like they like someone, they'll date them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It just is what it is. I like she's paying, she's into me, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But I think the difference is what made it so hard to see because I never even realized it was a thing. But watching these people like actively not date black men, like as a response, do you know what I mean? Like I don't think black men actively don't date black women.
What I was, but this is
If
what
you
I'm
know,
trying to say. I think there is a small number of black men who actively don't date. There's got to be.
yeah.
That's why a lot of,
But I
that's
mean,
why
they're
black
not
women
like
are.
a community. If you know what I mean, like
No, I think there is.
they.
I think there is a community, but I think the
Oh
community
yeah.
is very small here in the UK in comparison to
Mm.
in America. But I do think it's kind of crazy though that black women are like as a response, direct
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
And this is what's taking me into the divesting thing because someone came at me about black women are divesting, and UK girls need to get on toe
Get
the
on the
line and
wave.
get on the
Get
wave.
on
And
the
I
wave.
was like, okay, I need to know what this divesting thing is. And in the comments, a lot of the people that were talking about divesting, it was almost like they sounded so bitter. And I then, when I
Mm.
did my research, I realized that someone who is divesting is someone who is choosing not to get involved or engage with anything that doesn't suit them. So they're very much, if something affects me directly, then I might engage. If it doesn't affect me directly in terms of what's happening in the black community, I'm not going to get involved. So, for example, when we had the BLM Black Lives Matter protests, someone who is divesting, they wouldn't even protest, is what I'm trying to say, because
Mm.
unless it's happened to them in their life directly, they're not getting involved. And it's not just divesting means I'm not going to date black. Some divesting women still date black men, but it's about love who loves me. That's what they believe in. It's not like an active like I'm choosing not to date black people. It's literally I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
date
yeah.
anyone I want. They freed themselves from the idea of I must only date black or I need to get heavily involved in any like black issue,
Yeah.
black
And be a part of
concern,
this black
black
community.
political. Yeah, they're not getting involved. That also means that they're not part of the black woman community. They don't see themselves as part of the black woman community. So all the fighting that black women do, trying to like be equal to everybody else, not just black men, but everybody else, they don't subscribe because they're
Mm,
like, if
mm.
it doesn't affect me personally in my life, I'm not getting involved. But what I saw from the comments was because the impression I got from the comments was divesting means you're just choosing not to date black men,
That's
period.
exactly what I thought it meant.
And so I had to do some research because I was like, if that is what it is, that's kind of crazy, you know? That's
It's
very.
very mad. That has a name, a specific name for a specific group of people dating a specific way. I was like, wow.
And you know what? If you've been unfortunate to
Mm.
only come across men that hate black women, then they're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but you really need to start thinking about what you're attracting because those men are ignorant and think in a warped way, but you don't actually have to entertain men
Mm, yeah,
that
you don't have
think
to
and talk
engage
like
and all
that
that.
and
Mm.
engage. So if you are engaging and you're finding there's a pattern, there's a certain type of man that you keep coming into contact with, the common denominator is you. And so you do need to take some accountability. You can hate me if you want, call me a pick me if you want. I don't care. I don't give a damn at this point. But you do need to take accountability and think, okay, why am I attracting the same sort of guys? I spoke about this in a previous episode. I said that I remember going on a date with someone and he didn't like women, period. I'm pretty sure he hates women, period. Not even just black women, period. We went on one date. He even had the cheek to ask me for feedback. Like, would you go on another? I said, no, I wouldn't. And I told him, it's because I think you hate women.
I mean,
very bold of me, but that's me, innit?
But you have to be aware of what you're saying and what you're doing on a date.
Yeah. But I was just like, I'm not going to entertain this because I don't see why I need to engage with you if this is how you think. It doesn't make sense because this is how I see things and you see things completely left to me. Why would I entertain you any further than this? Thanks for the lovely date, but I will not be seeing you again, respectfully. So, I think men and women need to take accountability. The same thing with men. If you're going to be coming to tell me that all the women that you encounter, all the women you've dated have been problems, they've been crazy, they've been this, they've been that, then my guy, you need to think about the kind of women that you are attracting and you're allowing them to continue. Like, you're the one that is engaging with these type of women. And as soon as you find out that they're a little bit crazy, instead of you to acknowledge and identify the red flag, you ignore it, carry on. And then when she starts moving, when she takes it up a notch, then
when she starts moving
she's
mad.
Yeah, well. So people need to take accountability. And like I said, if you have been unfortunate, then you really need to reevaluate. What do I want?
Yeah, your selection process.
Signs. Like, you need to reevaluate. You need to review that selection process, baby. Because, guys, and I always used to say this, like, when I used to talk to some black guys in uni who used to be like, oh, I only like lighties, I don't want to date black girls. I used to be like, okay, heal. Because more time they'll tell you, oh, my mum was a bit problematic, or the women in my life were problematic, and so now I don't want to date a black woman. You need to heal from that trauma, hun. Like, you need to heal from that trauma, because that's a trauma response. Yeah. It's a trauma response. Yeah, it's a trauma response. It
must be. Because you know why? Because a lot of the times that I have this conversation with people, I never deep the fact that I actually have a really good relationship with my mum. And I think actually all the black women growing up in my life, I didn't have any problematic relationships with them. I probably had one problematic relationship with a black woman in my whole life. Or two even. And they were like, in like later life, like teenage and then beyond. And they were resolved. And that's like the only. And there's literally two actually. That weren't partners, as in just women in your life. In fact, older women, if you know what I mean, like relatives and all that. So that probably is why. But I never had any really problematic
relationships. But that's why I said in the beginning that it's heavily linked. Your preferences for anything in life. Clothes, partner, job, what you choose to do. Are you going to be an entrepreneur? You're going to be a 9-to-5er? You're going to be a bum? You're going to be dusty? That kind of thing. Dusty.
I mean that. Anyway.
Don't be claiming that for yourself. You ain't dusty. I ain't going to have that. I ain't going to have that.
I got to give them this episode, didn't it?
Where? Venom the villain. You people are egging him on. When he starts being a real villain, we ain't going to be able to stop him. I'm just saying, right?
Origin story.
But no. Oh, Lord. No, but I do think it's down to preference, because like I said, I was raised with happily married parents who, all of my siblings, our dad was very present, very hands-on in our upbringing as well. Actively showed mum love in front of us. Like, till today, they act like teenagers.
To this day.
They call each other baby and babe, and they'll kiss each other and cuddle and stuff. And we'd be like, ew, but I appreciate it because I know that a lot of other people didn't get to see that kind of thing. So for me, I know that there's black men that, and I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. Black men choosing
I have as
women.
Well. Oh, right. I didn't think that's what you was about to say. I thought you was about to say the problematic relationships with the mums, and then it's sort of translating into
Yeah. So we see a lot more of that, but people also need to remember that's not everybody's story and that's not everybody's background. And even if that is your background, I mean, I could have easily also experienced in my dating life black men not treating me right, and therefore
Mm.
become bitter and angry and feel like, you know, F you lot. Some women, what I'm about to say is probably going to be problematic, okay? But some
Hey.
women even decide to completely just ignore the men in general, and go lesbian, because they're like, you know what, I've dated men. It's been too much headache. Now I'm a lesbian. Not because that's what I actually am attracted to. It's because I'm just tired of men.
Mm.
So it's all about your preference. Well, your preference is all linked to, in my opinion, it's definitely linked to your experience.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Like, I don't want to be insensitive. Some women are feeling compelled to do this, divesting.
And again, I
or
think it's
feel
based on
compelled
their
to, and it's because of their
socials.
social.
Because it's more of an American thing, and I think the dynamic there is definitely different.
I mean, it's happening here as well. I mean, I had a nice conversation with a lady who's not from London, and she said that in where she's from. She's
Oh
up
yeah,
north.
someone said up north.
She's up
Yeah,
north, and she said that it's normal there for them to date not just black men.
yeah.
But then I've got cousins up north, and one of them, she's in a long-term relationship with a white guy, and she's had children with this white guy. But you know, when I talk to her, the way up north, there's less black people anyway.
This is
So
what
I
I
think
said.
that plays a part.
This is what I said.
Whereas here in London, it's so
There's so many. There's a substantial community there.
saturated with black people here. So it's a different
This is what I
ballgame. And I
said.
think people need to remember that not everywhere is the same. And that's the one thing that I didn't agree with Cynthia G on, when she was like, no matter where you go, all black men are the same.
Yeah, you can't paint the whole world
you
of
can't
black with the same brush.
Especially if you're not from here. You don't know what it's like here in London. So with all due respect, you can make the comment based on what you said. And I guess you was just trying to give a certain perspective, but it's not the only perspective of a black man here in London.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100%.
So people them.
What yoy?
Americans, Africans,
Jamaicans.
People from London, people from Manchester. If I'm being named your place,
Everyone from up
I'm
north.
inclusive. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm
Newcastle, Leeds, Scotland,
yeah, Scotland, Ireland,
Wales, Ireland,
Australia,
New Zealand. Yeah,
no
man.
matter where you're from, everybody face their front. Okay, go for your preferences. Choose who chooses you, and remember to give everybody the respect and kindness that you would want afforded to yourself.
Amen.
So we do welcome your comments on this. I mean, we've already had a lot of comments on the TikTok, on Cynthia G's post, on our post on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, do leave us a comment down below to let us know what you think, having heard our full conversation about it now. If you are listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, don't be afraid to find Venom and I on Instagram. I will pop our Instagram handles in the description box for the episode. Also, you know where to find us. I'll pop it on the screen. Those of you on YouTube as well, where you can find us on our socials. So hit us up. At the moment, we are open to responding to people, but like I said, any trolls, I'm gonna block and delete you real quick, ASAP Rocky. So
just keep it respectful.
Have some respect for yourself. Have respect for yourself, so I don't have to disrespect you. Damn. That's what I'm gonna say, because I'm nice till you cross me. So just respect yourself, so that I don't have to disrespect you. Okay?
Yeah. It's that.
And it's just that, really.
Big thank you to all of our new subscribers. Hey, one more time, thank you for coming down. This is where we at. We live right here. We would love it if you hang around, bring some of your friends, so we can get popping. That's what I'm saying.
So until next time. Peace.
Peace.